Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch another beautiful day here in the Ozarks. Yesterday, there was a lot of spraying in the skies, just all day long. My goodness, the trails through the sky were all over the place. But so far today, it is just absolutely clear and beautiful. We'll see how the day goes. It's, that they do that. And some of you get it, and some of you still aren't quite tuned into that kind of stuff. But that's okay. Maybe you'll wake up for the rest of it too. Well, the 7th Circuit Court, District Court, Federal Court has ruled, which is Illinois, Wisconsin, and Ohio, I believe. If I'm incorrect in that, please correct me in the comments below. I'm just going off of memory, but I think that's those 3 states. Ruled, I believe it was Friday, that Illinois' semi-automatic rifle ban, is constitutional. Back in January, Illinois voted to pretty much ban most or highly restrict most semi-automatic rifles with the magazine capacity of 10 rounds or greater. And the 7th District Court has upheld that ban. Now, of course, that's a very liberal court. It's not quite as bad as the one over in California, but it's still a very liberal court. And they ruled not only to uphold that ban, but they ruled in the ruling that AR-15s are not protected by the Second Amendment because they are weapons of war and that they're not protected. It also said that they're not protected because they're capable of being made semi-automatic, which is interesting because apparently these justices don't realize that many semi-automatic weapons are capable of being converted to fully automatic. So just because a weapon is capable of being converted to fully automatic should not negate its protection under the Second Amendment. But according to this court, that is the case. Now, will this be make it all the way to the Supreme Court and be overturned? It's very likely. But the point is that that I'm trying to get to is that we are watching as all of this stuff happens around the world. Boy, it's a lot of it, and you know that. I mean, it's every day things are escalating. Over yesterday afternoon, overnight, there were massive protests all over the world. Indonesia saw something like almost 1 million or so people protesting. Germany, Turkey, the United States, here in Washington, D.C., all kinds of places where there were just thousands, hundreds of thousands of people out protesting, looking very much like BLM riot-style protesting. In fact, at the White House, they were trying to break through the barriers, the gate. They were at the main gate. They were climbing up on it, spraying graffiti. Several monuments and statues were damaged and all that. So we're seeing things will become more chaotic. We're also seeing a lot more violence. There have been numerous shootings, mass shootings, multiple deaths and casualties of these shootings over the last few weeks. I'm sure you're all aware of most of them. And that is all par for course of everything that's happening, okay? We've talked about this. This is part of the globalist plan, is to just break down society. It has to be that way. They have to break down the fundamentals of our society so that they can bring about their global new world order. No one is going to accept their new world order as long as the current one is still stable and functioning. It's just not going to happen. People aren't going to do it. And so they have to tear down what we have right now. They have to break down the whole Western, biblical kind of Christian values so that they can bring about their new world order. And so we're watching that. We're also watching attacks on our rights. And this is something I've been telling you about for a while. The Biden administration has made it very, very, very clear that they want your guns. And I'm not trying to, be the sky is falling kind of guy, but they're definitely dead set on it. And as many of us would want to believe that, well, the Constitution says this, you have to understand these people in power, they don't care nothing about that Constitution. That's a document long since died. And depending on what your rabbit trail conspiracy beliefs are, we may not even be under that Constitution anymore, and probably haven't been since about 1871 or so, if you want to look at into all of that kind of stuff. But regardless, they don't care about that. And they are dead set on taking away rights, destroying your personal liberties, destroying family values, destroying, biblical Christian values. They're just destroying everything, really. I mean, that's the way it is. That's what a reset is. That's what their reset is. Their reset isn't, let's improve things, let's remodel the home. Their reset is bulldoze it and start all over. And we have to realize that that's the whole point. And that's really how we should wake up and realize what's going on, is that this isn't just they're not just trying to do some maneuvering with politics. They're trying to completely destroy the system. And part of the way that they're doing that is by causing so much disruption, so much chaos, and breaking society down in the sense that it causes people to hate each other. I've talked about this quite a bit here lately. The amount of division across the world, probably more so than we've ever seen. This current issue right now in the Middle East, are there good guys and bad guys? Maybe. There's definitely innocent people. Absolutely, there's innocent people. But like I said last night, remember that regardless of where it's at and what country's involved in, the people that are running these countries, they're all part of the same club. They are. They're all part of the same club, and you're not part of that club. And what we're seeing is the amount of hatred and divisiveness is so widespread and so rapidly increasing that I can't see it any other way that this is part of their plan. This is part of the controlled destruction, the controlled chaos. Klaus Schwab, 3 years ago, said that, people are going to be angry. They're going to be angry, and we have to be ready for that. Yeah, they're angry. People are everywhere angry. They're going broke. Their money doesn't buy anything. $1 is worth a nickel anymore. They can't even live in homes anymore because they can't afford them. They can't afford rent. They can't afford groceries. Nothing works. Wars everywhere. They're terrified of some disease. They hate everyone because of the difference of skin color, the difference of religion, or the difference in ideology. They're all mentally insane and confused because they don't know what their body parts are for or what gender is anymore. This is the world. We've completely destroyed this concept and an idea of God. I mean, that right there is really the basis of all the confusion and chaos. We throw God out the window, throw the Bible out the window, throw Jesus out the window, and then what's left of that kind of biblical, godly kind of thing is so distorted and twisted that, Yeshua is something that it's not even what he is. All of this is being done for a purpose, folks. Being done to destroy our society and to control us. It's control is all it is. And you and I have to be aware of that. You and I have to be awake and not allowing ourselves to be drugged down into that argument and that fight. I mean, yes, you can see that there are innocent people here and that there are people that are being hurt and that these are wrongs that are being done. And you can say, listen, this needs to be taken care of. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. What I have a problem with is that people that are so they're blindly following one guy or the next. They blindly believe that if this guy gets elected, that he's going to change everything. Why, come 2024, when he takes, in 2025, when he takes office, why, it's going to change. Everyone's going to go in jail. We're going to stop all this spending. We're going to turn things around, and we're going to have this, big kumbaya America again. It's ridiculous to believe that any one person or political party is going to change all this because they're all part of the same club, folks. And this is all being done for a purpose. And I know that you might say, well, you have a really pessimistic view of things, don't you, Travis? I mean, my goodness, you just think it's all hopeless. No, I think it's very hopeful, because I think that everything is not just falling into place, but it's falling into God's plan. That's what I think. It's falling into God's plan. We as a society are reaping for what we've done as a society. This is the wages of sin is death, and we are reaping what we've sowed as a society. We're reaping the tens of millions of babies that's been murdered. We're reaping the mockery of God. We're reaping the fact that for a couple of generations now, our government has been purposely misleading children, like running them astray, getting them astray, which, is right there in the scripture, that our government has been doing that from schools, by kicking God out of schools, Bible and prayer, teaching children now that they can be whatever gender they want and mutilate their bodies, and cursing God. All of these things are being done in our country and around the world in a lot of places. And we have to reap the repercussions of those. And I think that everything that's happening is just falling into place. That's why I don't worry. That's why I'm not terrified. That's why I don't live in any kind of fear of what's going to happen, because I know who holds the future, right? And I got to, trust and have faith in him, that his power and his grace will protect me as long as I do the parts that I need to do to kind of fill in the gaps. And so when we see all this stuff happening, don't be terrified, and please don't get caught up in all the petty differences and stuff, because that divisiveness, that confusion, it doesn't come from God. It comes from Satan. And it's working out just like he planned, because he's wanting to take as many of us with him as he can. And so everything from gun control to murder and abortion and transgender stuff and destruction of the church and anything that's holy, and then all across the board with wars and rumors of wars and pestilence and famine and everything else, folks. Realize it's all one big picture, and that you and I, we're not in this world or of this world. Okay, we're not of it. They hate us because they hate Jesus. Okay, they hate Yeshua. They hate us because we're part of him. We're not part of this world. We have to realize that we're just here for just a time. We're just here for a time. We're only passing through, and we got to make the best of it. And part of making the best of it when it's these kind of troubled times is getting prepared, so that we can be that remnant that's is able to endure to the end. And so that's why I can encourage you to get away from these wicked and evil places. Find a tribe outside of all of that, and prepare yourselves to ride it out to the end. And it's going to be a bumpy, rough ride. It really is. If this lasts longer and that you're able to survive through the end, it's going to be some pretty chaotic times. And I encourage you to get yourselves ready, stock up, pray up, prep up, train up, and get it all done, because things are going to start getting crazy. But, this gun thing that I talked about in the beginning, I'm telling you, they're coming after them. You better stock up and then make sure you lose them all. I mean, I'm joking about that. But make sure you've got what you need, because they're going to start cracking down. This 90-day ban on, export sales of guns and ammunition, and then this Seventh Circuit Court thing. There's just more and more. They are going to start cracking down every which way they can. Every time you see another shooting, it's just fuel on their fire. So get yourselves ready and your house is in order. Folks, start preparing yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.